What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Akeem Haynes. I'm a two-time Olympic bronze medalist, author, motivational speaker, and sports commentator. On my channel, we talk boxing, MMA, track and field, and of course, motivation and encouraging content. If this is something that you enjoy, then I hope that you subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the video. Tevin Farmer versus Mickey Bey. What do we think about this fight? I have a lot of respect for fighters who can push through adversity early in their careers, find the courage to continue when it doesn't seem like it's going to be good, right? Tevin Farmer in his first 12 fights did not have the greatest record. He was 7-4-1. And I'm sure a lot of people counted him out. He probably has some thoughts of his own. But since that loss against Jose Pedraza in 2012, he's won every fight except his recent one in 2020 against Jojo Diaz. I respect that a lot. That's not easy to do. Not to mention, he beat Billy Dibb to win the IBF super featherweight title as well, too. Impressive rise after an unpromising start. But let's talk about the fight. Tevin Farmer and Jojo Diaz was a good fight, and they matched up well against each other. I still remember that massive cut on Jojo Diaz's eye. I'm not even sure how they let that fight go the full distance, but Tevin Farmer is a good boxer. He's not going to wow you with fancy footwork or his hand speed or punching power, especially at this stage in his career. But what he's going to do is he's going to be patient. He's going to use his jab to find his way in, and he's going to try and disrupt your timing. He outboxes a lot of his opponent. I think if I remember correctly, he's got 6 wins by the way of knockout, but 24 by unanimous decision. This is a guy who is also going to be there all night long. You have to take him out because he's not going anywhere. He's going to be in front of you. He's a very resilient guy. He gave Jojo Diaz some work in their fight, but Jojo Diaz gave him some great combination work. Right, there was a sequence where Jojo Diaz let off a 6-piece combination and Farmer didn't have anything for him. I'm used to seeing Tevin Farmer in previous fights, right, using that head movement, right, some of that elusiveness and slickness in the ring, but we didn't really see that in his last fight, right? And we can only go off what we have seen recently. Whenever I look at fights and breaking it down, I don't like to go too far back ahead because they may not be the same fighter, or they may be growing and developing, or maybe something happened along the way. So I like to really go back off the previous fight and maybe the fight before that as well too. But in the previous fight, yeah, it just didn't seem like the Tevin Farmer that we are accustomed to, but he still fought through the later rounds, but he still looks good in my opinion. Now, it's 2 years since his last fight, so I think some ring rust will be there, and that's something to consider in mind, but I like Tevin Farmer. He's a good boxer to me. Now, let's talk about Mickey Bey. We haven't seen Mickey Bey since his fight with George Kambosos Jr. in 2019, in which he lost that fight by split decision, so it's been a few years out of the ring for him. With both of these fighters' inactivity in the recent years, this fight makes sense. Bey always comes in great physical shape. He's got a good fast jab. I remember in the Kambosos fight, he hit him with like a quadruple jab. I was like, man, I haven't really seen that before, right? He's got good hand speed and he's a smart boxer. He's got good head movement and a bit of that shoulder roll defense. When you watch Mickey Bey, you can see why he's had the amount of success that he's had in his career. He has a great set of tools and skills to work with. In his last fight against George Kambosos, I thought he overcommitted a lot in that fight. And George Kambosos was just a step quicker than him in that fight. You know George Kambosos has quick hands, and he countered him and caught him often in that fight. In the 9th and the 10th round, Mickey Bey looked gassed, and his hands started to get lower, and George Kambosos applied the pressure and won those rounds off activity to me. When Mickey Bey fought Rances Barthélemy, it was a similar pattern. Rances used his reach and he looked very conditioned in the later rounds, whereas Farmer looked like he lost his legs a little bit as well too. So it'll be interesting to see how this fight goes the longer that it goes. Not to mention Mickey Bey is now 39 years old. I don't know what a 39-year-old Mickey Bey is going to look like, but I guess we will see. But based off previous fights, it didn't look good conditioning-wise going into the later rounds. And I'm someone who likes to follow the patterns. And so I feel like a similar pattern is going to happen in this fight. He's also older. I am going with Tevin Farmer in this fight to win by decision. I think Mickey Bey will steal the early rounds, but as the fight goes on, I think Tevin Farmer will find his groove and start to seize control of this fight. He's 7 years younger than Mickey Bey. And I think that will help. I think he'll control the middle rounds and going into the later rounds. So I think it's going to be a good fight, but I have Tevin Farmer winning this one by decision. Who do you have winning this fight? Let me know in the comments section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple ways that you can do so. You can like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. If you would like to support the channel by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel and will be greatly appreciated. So with that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, then do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.